plot. Right now, we're going to speak to Philip Ingram, former senior military intelligence officer, because, of course, there's a big piece in the Telegraph today. Vladimir Zelensky has been critical of Joe Biden for not doing enough. He's basically thanked the US for permission to strike inside Russian territory with American munitions, but says he wants more. Let's find out why. Philip, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, a lot of people were rather surprised by Joe Biden's sort of decision to give permission, which he previously hadn't given, to Ukraine to use US weapons in that way. Do you think it's risky?
Not really. Not when you put it into the bigger scheme of things. The bigger scheme of things is we have to ensure that Vladimir Putin is defeated and Ukraine's pre-2014 internationally recognized boundaries are restored. And therefore, the delay in supplying weapons held up by the Speaker of the House for over 6 months that cost thousands of Ukrainian lives for US domestic politicking, and the fact that Joe Biden doesn't want to authorize the use of American weapons to where Russia's launching its attacks from anywhere in Russia, again, is pandering to US domestic pressure and domestic politics. And I think President Zelensky is right to be frustrated. I'd say he's more frustrated rather than angry, because it's costing his people's lives.
Sure, but I mean, presumably Biden's got a good reason for doing it, and I'm no friend of Joe Biden, so I'm not sitting here defending what he's doing. But what I would say is that there would be those who would say, yeah, but if you're allowing weapons that are manufactured in America, sold to Ukraine to attack Russia, then the Russians could see that as a very barefaced attack by the US on Russia, couldn't they?
No, not in the slightest. The UK has authorised the use of UK manufactured weapons in Russia. It hasn't caused a problem. The French have done the same. And Russia is using Chinese components in the weapons, Iranian supplied weapons, North Korean supplied weapons, and we've allowed this to happen. It's killing Ukrainian people. Why Joe Biden is doing this is purely for domestic political reasons alone. He's trying to pander to different groupings at home, and the people are paying for that with their lives. This is where we have to take our gloves off, let the Ukrainians properly defeat the Russians. Otherwise, this conflict is going to be going on for another 5+ years.
Yeah, but it begins to look like that, doesn't it? Because it's kind of a stalemate. I mean, it doesn't look as if Ukraine can beat Russia, because Russia have proven themselves to be far more resilient than everybody said they would be.
Well, no, Russia has been far weaker than everyone said they would be. We had the German leader turn around and say that he expected Ukraine to fall in a number of days. We're over 2 years later, Ukraine has pushed Russia back from its strategic objectives of getting Kyiv, toppling the Zelensky government, capturing the whole of Ukraine and stopping NATO expansionism, and has been pushed into the east. It's had a little bit of tactical success in north of Kharkiv, but whilst that's going on, General Budanov of the Ukrainian military intelligence organization is hollowing the Russians out from behind. He's sunk almost half of the Russian Black Sea fleet, and he doesn't have a navy. He's attacking Russian manufacturing capability, oil refining capability, military logistics, and the Russians are in a real dilemma. So tactically, the Russians have made a few advances, and if you're measuring that, you could say they are, in inverted commas, winning slightly at the moment. But operationally and strategically, the Ukrainians are kicking their proverbials.
Interesting. Philip, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Philip Ingram, former senior military intelligence officer there, giving us the lowdown on what's going on in Ukraine.